Hello, everyone. My name is Margaret Nicole Woods, and I'm a student in the Epidemiology 1 class. I'm excited to talk to you all today about the relationship between cigarette smoking and lung cancer. This is for the discussion board post, and let's get started here soon. Pulling up my notes. So this is for the discussion board post, the Sir Richard Dahl discussion post. So the first question, provide the descriptive epidemiology of cigarette smoking in Arkansas and the U.S. So cigarette smoking is very common in the U.S. and in Arkansas. Arkansas is ranked number 3 roughly in the U.S., so right behind West Virginia and Kentucky. So in Arkansas, about 22.7% of the adult population has or currently does smoke. In the youth population, so let's think about high school students, 17.4% of the high school youth smoke or report smoking. So in the US, if we compare those Arkansas numbers to the US, 11.5% of the US adult population currently smokes. So significantly less than the amount in Arkansas, almost half. The youth, about 24% of the youth report smoking. So Arkansas is a slightly less youth in Arkansas smoke. When we consider sex, men smoke more often than women. So for men, about 13% of men smoke compared to 10% of women. Age groups, the highest percentage of smokers is amongst the 45 to 64-year-old age group. That age group has about 14.9% of smokers. Racial groups. When we think of racial groups, the group with the highest percent of smokers is actually other, followed by non-Hispanic whites. So that is 12.9% for the non-Hispanic whites. When we look at annual household income, the group with the highest percent of smokers is low income, the low income group, with about 18.3% of smokers that have in that group of low income earners. So number 2, comment from an epidemiologic perspective on this data. So epidemiology is a study of how diseases occur in different groups of people and why. And so based on this data and this information that I just shared, it does make sense to me, for example, with the middle-aged adults. So those adults, that's the age group that had the highest percentage of smokers. So those 45 to 64 years old. It makes sense to me because in that age group, several things and several stresses could be going on. It could be midlife crises. It could be these older individuals are getting older in age, so they could be having more health issues. That's another stressor in life. Their parents are getting older, so that could they could be dealing with their parents, trying to care for their parents as caregivers. Their parents could be passing away. That's additional stressors. They also could be stressing about retirement. So maybe having mixed emotions about wanting to work, needing to leave, needing to save for retirement. So save money for retirement, and so they can relax and just spend more time with family. All of these kind of midlife crises that might be happening and providing and causing additional stress to the individual. So low income. The low income group, that also makes sense to me why they would have they would be the income group, the annual household income group that has the most smokers, because people with low income, they have stresses in life. We all have stresses in life, but people with low income in particular, they have stressors that are actual crucial and life-changing. Stressors about, making ends meet and just affording basic necessities. So figuring out how they're going to pay and buy the food that they're going to have for their next meal, how they're going to pay for their rent. So for example, I am a medical student. I have a lot of stresses in my life, but my stresses are about just finishing my medical degree and finishing my master's in public health. My stressors aren't as crucial and as significant as those that have low income may be dealing with. Hopefully that makes sense. So number 3, We know that cigarette smoking and tobacco-related products are known to be a leading cause of morbidity, mortality, and disability. Yet, people keep smoking. This is because, a large portion of our population continues to smoke, even though we know the negative consequences, just like lung cancer. So, public health. Public health professionals, medical professionals, health professionals, we all do a great job, I believe, in informing society of the tobacco lung cancer relationship. So people know. But certain individuals, some continue to smoke anyway for various reasons. So as I kind of hinted at earlier, for stress relief, for pleasure, for certain social situations, there's numerous reasons. Also, cigarettes are addictive due to the nicotine. So once you start, it's hard to stop. So those are some reasons why, even 50 years later, after we know about the negative consequences of cigarette smoking, many people still continue to smoke. Number 4, what type of cause do I believe this relationship is? I believe this is a sufficient cause, meaning it by itself can cause lung cancer, but it's not the only cause of lung cancer. There are other exposures that can cause lung cancer. So, for example, we see in the hospital, we see individuals that get lung cancer that have never smoked before. And maybe they're not even around smokers, so they're not even getting secondhand exposure. But they can still get lung cancer. Why is that? There's other exposures besides tobacco. So, for example, air pollution, asbestos. There's several different types of lung cancer, and they all can be associated with different exposures. So tobacco is just one exposure, but there's other things that can cause lung cancer. Okay, last but not least, number 5, 50 years from now, like another exposure disease relationship that we will still see. I think a great example of this, one that came immediately to my mind, is obesity and diabetes. So in the US, we have what we call the SAD diet, and it's unfortunate that it's called SAD. It's the Standard American Diet. So that's what SAD stands for. It's loaded with processed foods, fast foods, added sugar, sodium, and often lacks the good stuff, the healthy stuff that we actually need, like fruits, veggies, whole grains, nuts, seeds. So unfortunately, I think this is a great example of something that's going to be around even 50 years from now. We know about this obesity to diabetes relationship. That's diabetes mellitus, for example, that I'm referring to, most often type 2 when we think about that obesity diabetes relationship. Restaurants and fast foods, they're booming. They are booming. And I don't personally see a huge change in the standard Western diet and our standard American diet coming anytime soon. So I don't see a drastic improvement in our standard American diet that's coming either. There's TV and media advertisements that advertise a lot of restaurants and fast foods, and the fast food and media and restaurant industry, they all impact our diet here in the US. I can easily turn on my TV and see McDonald's commercials, Popeye's fried chicken commercials. You can see all of the good stuff that's bad stuff easily on your TV and at your disposal. So, but we well know through research, maybe through family relatives, the obesity can lead to diabetes. I believe that this obesity and diabetes both are going to unfortunately be around. There are still going to be public health issues that we face today, 50 years from now, and until there's a major improvement in our Western diet. And that's going to have to come from a majority of our culture to really see a change in that obesity to diabetes relationship. Thank you.